I am already back with more stuff, not only from the dollar store, but also from Five Below. I got some stuff here. Even more Final Faction. Got some Star Wars stuff. Let's get into it. Let's just get into it. This is spilling out. What we got? We got another Ruck. That's because there's other armor. We'll talk about it. We'll wait to open him until we get the other armor out. No, let's just open him now. Who cares? So, yeah, Final Faction. If this is your first time tuning in to one of these dollar store videos, is a line of action figures from Dollar Tree that, even though they're just, $1.25, because that's what everything is in Dollar Tree now, it's kind of crazy. Like, man, for the first time ever, I bought a Hot Wheel, and it was like $1.10, and it broke my heart. But, little, tangent aside. Yeah, even though they're $1.25 now, they're still like figures from the dollar store, and they're actually known for being pretty high quality. The plastics are good, the tolerances are good. I've never really had any QC issues quite yet. I say as this is the first time I have had a case of crotch split on one of these. Oh no! That's a very common thing with dollar store figures, where you move the leg, and the mushroom inside is oddly shaped, and it causes the crotch to split. That's my first case of crotch split on a Final Faction. That's unfortunate. I mean, it's still holding. It's pretty solid. I don't feel like it's just going to break, because oftentimes you just spread the legs on these figures and they just snap right away. But other than that, yeah, pretty solid. Pretty cool. So there's another Ruck, because there's another armor set. I'm going to have so much trash on my floor when I'm done. Let's talk about these. Let's skip the dollar store for a second. And the reason why I'm including these Star Wars Resistance figures that I've never watched the show. I only got the First Order people from this line. The reason I got these is because they were on clearance at Five Below. You know your figures are bad when not only are they at Five Below, but they're on clearance. These cost me like $1.60 something each. So I figured for literally that cheap, let's get them. So this is a Sinara-san. No idea who or what the characters are. Let's read the bio in the back. A salvager who scours the oceans and islands of Castian, or I can't read it, there's the thing in the way, of some Star Wars planet. For crashed starships, Sinara keeps much to herself. Let's open her up. Let's see how this is. Because I do have, like I said, some of the First Order ones. Well, technically I don't, because I got customs of Von Reg and Pyre, and I got rid of the 5 POA versions. So, and I have a Stormtrooper, but it's carded. So technically, these are kind of my first. And again, I've never seen the show. Can't really speak on if it's good or not. I watched the first episode when that was coming out, and I was like, it reminded me too much of Transformers Robots in Disguise. Oh my god, let me just get my knife. It reminded me too much of Transformers Robots in Disguise, if you're familiar with that. Where it's just very kiddie, and it just didn't really seem to feel like it was going to have a coherent, interesting story, so I decided to skip it. But, I mean, for $1 something, I was figuring, yeah, let me go ahead and get the figures, because they actually don't look bad. And so you can see, like, I'm inclined to say she's, like, the same species as, like, Barriss Offee or something, except she's, like, more blue or, like, purpley instead of green. That's my guess. She does have a couple accessories. Obviously, the gun that I struggled to get out, she's got that. And she's got this really cool-looking helmet. Let's get the helmet on. Yeah, that actually looks pretty neat. I mean, at the end of the day, I could at least use her as just like a random backgrounder in like a Star Wars display. That would be cool. Yeah, pretty neat little figure. I mean, again, 5 POA. This was pretty much the last 5 POA line that Hasbro did. And I guess they just decided to give up on it. Well, technically, you could still say there's 5 POA stuff with the Retro Collection. Honestly, let me know in the comments if you're seriously collecting the Retro Collection. I might do a poll, too, on my community tab. Because I have one. It's pretty neat, but, like, who needs a whole collection of them, honestly? Here, this is interesting. This is a Turbo Wheels Collector Showcase. You can see you can put minifigs in it that are totally real. Does one of them have, like, a real face? Yeah, you can see that right there. Isn't that a Ninjago face that one has? But it's got, like, girl hair. That's hilarious. And the others are just blatant rip-offs. I think that's a Lego face, too. Isn't that a Lego face? Oh, man, that's special. But you can also fit Hot Wheels in here. I figured for literally a buck. I'm not going to say $1.25 every time. If I can't use this for like a display, at the very case I might be able to use it as like a decent storage case for like Gundam accessories, something like that. So let's see, how does it open? It's pretty decent. I mean, it's what you would expect. Yeah, you can see it kind of slides out, it kind of keys together. So yeah, you could put stuff in here. The closest thing I can think of that might fit, would my Ertl Thomas fit in here? No, he's a little too long. He's still on my desk. I just don't have a spot for him. I don't have a Thomas collection. Where else am I going to put a Thomas the Tank Engine? I don't really have any cars or any Lego on hand. I don't know. Will it fit my Dark of the Moon Mech Tech ratchet weapon I almost threw in the trash? Yes, it will. Amazing. I'll use it. Here, how about this? Will it fit the Mission Fleet Dark Trooper on display? Yes, I can display Mission Fleet figures in it. Amazing. Look at that. Little Mission Fleet Dark Trooper in there. That's great. Yeah, it's this little case. If you can see this being useful for like sorting, you know, little accessories or something, you know, only $1 something. I think it is what you expect. I'll use it at some point, maybe. Reaching in again, we got the receipt. Reaching in again, we got, ooh, Drone Scourge. It's just more weapons for the drones. That's all it is. Didn't have it. It's got this cool looking weapon. Figured out how to get it. I'm not going to worry about opening this right now because I don't really have any figures to put it on. But yeah, you know, it's just some cool extra weapons. Figured I'd pick that up for how cheap it is. I almost have the whole line. There's just a couple of the human characters I don't have because they don't have like a cool helmeted alternative. Here's another Brute accessory set. I wanted this one because it has this really cool, like, massive axe weapon. And I kind of like the green accessories. Yeah, it's just another accessory set. Again, I don't think I'm going to open it up, but man, that weapon looks really cool. It's kind of cool how you get a base figure with, like, you know, 1 or 2 things, and then you get accessory sets where you get, like, a lot of extra cool stuff that really amps it up. Honestly, Final Faction's one of the coolest lines. But one of the coolest things of all time is SHREK, obviously. We all love DreamWorks SHREK, and here is SHREK for a literal $1. I could not turn down a little figurine of SHREK. I might keep it in the package, actually. I don't know. That's a waste. Come on, let's just open it. Why am I going to keep this in the box? It has no value. It's a literal $1. It's SHREK. Here we go. It's actually not bad. The dollar stores had these little figures for a while where it's just like a cartoon character, a little figurine of them for, you know, $1.25. And I really like SHREK. I kind of got a whole little SHREK thing going. And it's been a while since I've had a SHREK in my life, so here is a SHREK. Amazing. I love it, I guess. All right, reaching in yet again. What else we got? We got, ooh, this is a really cool one. I'm really excited for this because not only is it like a weapon, but it's also another character. It's like this little spider insect guy that has like a missile pod on his back. Look at how much space he takes up in that bubble. I saw this and I was like, yeah, that's just really cool. Because they have some turrets and things, and I'm like, I don't really need turrets because they're not characters. They're just these weird little turrets. They're going to take up space in my life. I'm not going to display them or anything. But this is like an actual character. You can see like it's got articulation, and it has articulation up here. I do have to say the plastic does feel a little Halloween decoration-like. It's not the highest quality, but come on, it's a toy at the dollar store. And they had to fit in metal springs for the actual missile launching gimmick. Ooh, speaking of that, the springs are not they don't have a lot of good hold. That just shot across my room, and that just shot on the floor. So we won't be seeing those again. But yeah, neat little spider, cool drone thing. It's neat. Reaching in yet again. Ooh, this is the accessory set for the vehicle for the Karn. They finally have a vehicle. I finally found this. It's like this rolling thing. It rolls. It's a rolling thing. Let's build it. Let's just get it out of the way. So it's just like this weird roly-poly thing. I'm pretty sure I've said that a couple times already. You're probably picking up the idea. Yeah, it's just this, not a lot of pieces. rolls. I don't know where this goes. Pretty decent plastic, though. I mean, keep in mind, this is the same price as a figure. I just got to figure out how to build this thing. So let's see, I'm pretty sure this is the front. And then this is like an extra wheel that I believe is going to be like on the back. Here, so I think this... Yeah, so this is like the extra... You can see it's kind of off to the side a little bit, so we're going to put the wheel right there. Yeah, so it's going to have 3 wheels. And then you can see it's got these big clips that I'm very worried will break someday. But, for now, clipping in good, pretty solid. So yeah, the Karn have their own vehicle now. You can see you can sit a figure in there, pretty neat. They roll around. I like that. I just think it's neat that the Karn have a vehicle to match with the Final Faction vehicle. And this is the accessory set for it. Not as much stuff, I feel, as the accessory set for the other one, but they make up for that with some nice silver paint. Basically, this makes it like a Scorpion tank, which in my opinion is really cool. So you take this Stinger thing, put it right there. So it also kind of works as a bit of an extra head guard. Then you take these big claw things and plug them in the front. And yeah, what you're left with is a pretty cool vehicle for the Karn. That's pretty neat. That's actually really cool. I don't know if I'm not putting these in right, or if they just need a little bit more force. But yeah, they're not fitting in as well as I would expect. Maybe if I put them in the other side? Yeah, they're not fitting in that well. Maybe that might need a little bit of work. I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, those aren't fitting in the best, but I mean, for $1, I can't really complain. I mean, this whole thing, at the end of the day, this is a vehicle that costs $2.50. I can't complain. It's pretty neat. I really do like the look of it. Will I ever have the space to display stuff like this? Not really. This will probably, unfortunately, just live in my toy drawer, because I don't really have a lot of space for silly Final Faction stuff. But regardless, pretty neat. Unfortunately, these are really proving to not stay in there. So that's, unfortunately, some pretty not that great design. Again, the tank, or not the tank, the vehicle for the Final Faction themselves also had similar issues where a lot of the armor plates just kept coming off. But let's take a little Final Faction break and talk about another Star Wars Resistance character, Tora Doza. This is like a rebel pilot lady. I don't know. She looks... When I first saw her, I was like, she kind of gives me some Sabine vibes, because she's very colorful, she's young, she's a pilot, even though Sabine was a Mando. One interesting thing, though, she doesn't have a helmet, she has an interchangeable head. She also doesn't seem to have a weapon of any sort. She literally is just a pilot with an interchangeable head. So taking a closer look at her, I do like the design. I think the design's pretty neat. I think it's pretty cool. I will probably use her most of the time with the pilot helmet, as I literally just drop it on the floor. I swear, man, I'm struggling so much making videos right now. I'm stumbling on all of my words. I'm dropping everything. It is so unfortunate. But if we can get this head on without breaking her... Look! Oh my gosh, trying to get the head on, the neck has like totally been bent down. The head does not want to go on. It's almost like they forgot how to design an interchangeable head for this. Oh, man. Ooh. Are we on? Are we on yet? I feel like I'm twisting the plastic, but I think we're on. I think we're on. Oh, man, that was the scariest... Oh, man, I'm twisting the plastic right now. I'm not turning the head, I'm twisting the plastic. The head is that tight on here. Oh, man. Oof. But yeah, helmet design looks pretty cool. She's just a cool-looking Star Wars character, I guess. I don't know. Not much to say. Yeah, $1.60 something, I'll take it. Alright, so to recap, we got all that stuff so far. Let's dig in again. Let's see what we got. We have... Ooh! Nice little callback. It's the accessory set for Ruck that I forgot the last time. I found it finally, and I was like, yeah, let's get that. And I also decided to just go ahead and get another Ruck, because again, it's so cheap. So this has tons of little wheels I gotta peg on. I guess they made me pay for the assembly on this thing. But let's try to figure out how this works and get it going. So here is like the foot, I guess. Here is one of the additional feet. And here are these little tread pieces that you clip on to, I guess they're geared. Yeah, they're kind of geared a little bit, so they'll all turn in tandem, but it's a very cheap connection. I mean, actually, once you get them all going, that's actually spinning pretty good. Never mind. It is still a cheap connection. It's literally just, some clips that flex and bend back into shape to hold it in place. But despite that, it's actually working out pretty well. Let's see if this one works out just as good. Yeah, that's not bad. Nice little tread going. And then we have these. I don't know what's going on there. Is it like a missile launcher? Yeah, it must be what it is. Is this the missile? Yeah, it's a missile launcher. And you get this cool Mask Crusaders. Literally just looks like a mask from Mask. Dead serious. That's all it is. But that's all the accessories. Let's arm up this other ruck here and see how it looks. So, again, he is now a Mask Crusader, so... Dude, that is straight up a mask from Mask. I'm not joking, that's all that is. The backpack just fell off, awesome. Let's give him the missile pod on his shoulder, which is pretty wild to me how he just has this rocket on his shoulder. Let's put the miniguns on his arms. Oh, the miniguns spin too! Oh, that's so cool. Actually gave him little spinny miniguns. That's so cool. And let's give his feet a little bit of mobility with these big old wheeled feet, which I still find pretty silly. But, I mean, at the end of the day, there you go. He's got these massive wheeled feet. A new episode of the show is going to be coming out, and I think a lot of these new accessories and things are going to be featured in it. So we'll get to see how this works, I guess. Unfortunately, how the missile pod was made, it was made on the same connection side as this that you get with the base figure. So unfortunately, it can only be used backwards now. Unless maybe I still can put this on this side, maybe? Like have it like this? Maybe that'll work, yeah. Yeah, and so that way the missile's not as in his face. So like it can just kind of peek out a little bit. There we go, that works. So yeah, there's another version of Ruck upgraded. That's special. It's very special. Doesn't really roll though. Maybe on like a harder terrain you can get that rolling a little bit. But still, like those are like tank feet. Kind of neat. I do think I want to combine it with the other armor. Or I might just leave it. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, so reaching in. Let's grab something that is neither Final Faction or Star Wars. I did already open this because I was very, very compelled. This is a little, it was called a Transformers Mystery Walker. Movable arms and legs for more fun. You can see there's Optimus, Bumblebee, Soundwave, and Megatron. I did feel for the one that I wanted, because you can see a certain Mr. Wave has some extra things on his shoulders, and I was actually able to feel, and I got Soundwave. Are you ready to see how this looks? So what we have here is what can basically be amounted to an eraser. It is essentially an eraser action figure. I don't think it's supposed to be an eraser. I don't think you're supposed to function it as an eraser. But it's literally like eraser rubber. Like you could probably use this as an eraser. You can see it's just cut in the shape. And it has a very poor misaligned print of Evergreen Soundwave on it. You can see it's totally misaligned. The arms, like this arm is totally off center. Look at that. Like look, that's his fingers are in the middle of where the hand should be. This one's more correct, but that one's way off. And then you can see the head is like drooping down into the body. It's the quality is not good. And how it's built, it's literally just these things of rubber that are held in with plastic bars. It's literally all it is. So this has to be one of the cheapest little Transformers things in my entire collection. Is it a Soundwave item to add to the Soundwave shelf? Unfortunately, yes. Is this worth... Well, let's compare. Let's just compare real quick. So, this thing here is two things right here. It's two figures. You get Ruck, you already saw everything you get and how he is. And this costs the same as the base figure for that. Oh my god. How embarrassing. How utterly embarrassing. But I have it. Alright. Let's open up the last Resistance figure. It is the main character. It is Kaz Ziono. Again, I have never seen the show, but I actually do like the fact that for once, a lead Star Wars character in the Disney franchise is wearing a color for once. He's actually wearing a color. He's green, because most of them are just wearing like earthy tones. I'm like, come on, man, give him some color. At least Sabine had some color, but I feel like the rest of the cast, it was kind of still a little more on the earthy side. Someone could argue the green is still an earth color, I know, but still, it's a very bright green. It's very nice, colorful, cheery green. And with that, ooh, man, that head has been waiting for a couple years to be turned, I guess, because that had quite a pop to it. Yeah, let's get him his little gun. Very nicely painted silver. And I guess this character is also supposed to be a pilot because he's got a pilot helmet, which looks pretty cool. I think it's a cool looking figure, man. I don't really know what the character's all about. I'm sure he's like a Resistance guy. I'm pretty sure in the first episode he was like sent on a mission by Poe Dameron or something. He seemed kind of annoying. He seemed kind of, I don't know how to put it, lead annoying character like. Very young hotshot sort of guy. Very similar to like a hotshot from like Transformers Armada or something. Very kind of young character. Hey, it looks cool with the helmet on. I dig that. So yeah, I think I've got a neat little Resistance collection going. I don't have the older guy with his, weird astromech. Don't really care, for how cheap I got these. I really can't complain. Like, I literally got all of these figures for probably less than the price of one originally was. So yeah, there's some of that. Alright, we've got a couple things left in this bag. Just a couple. We've got one more Final Faction accessory set. This is the Torn Cyber Arms. I am not going to open this now because I've heard this can break. But pretty much you just have these armatures that you can plug onto a back, and it's a back. You got these extra little attachments and things. It's kind of neat. Like I said, I really don't want to open it now because I really don't want to try to store it and break it because I don't really have the place for this right now. I'm worried it'll break in storage. So I'm not going to open this. However, I got the dragon from SHREK. This is the best day of my life. They did have Puss in Boots there too, but wasn't really interested, didn't really look any good. However, I don't have any plastic interpretation of the dragon. And this looks so ridiculous and actually pretty good for, just being a cheap little figure. So I decided I'd go ahead and get the dragon. And you can see it has a nice little SHREK base too. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Obviously not in scale with SHREK at all. But yeah, I got some SHREK stuff. I got some Final Faction. I got a vehicle. I got this spider guy. I got some weapons. I got some Star Wars stuff. I got one of the worst Transformers in my entire collection. It's all good. Those things didn't stay on at all. So, here's been another episode of cheap, adventures with J4. I got some more cheap stuff. I got this case, too. There's that little case. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, this didn't cost much of anything. I had fun with it. I've got some cute little knick-knack stuff to throw on the shelves. I actually got a few Star Wars figures I just straight up didn't have. I totally skipped the Resistance line besides the First Order guys. So, they're actually pretty decent figures for being 5 POA. The paint's good, they look good. Can't really complain, especially for the price I paid. And I'm pretty excited for that Karn vehicle, but it's very disappointing that the front things don't stay on at all. I was expecting them to at least stay on a little bit. But, yeah, man, I'm sure a kid playing with it, they wouldn't stay on for much of any time whatsoever. Maybe if I heat it up, I'd have better luck. but just using some force. I'm struggling. Alrighty, guys, there we go. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know when I'll do another one of these. No new Final Faction stuff has really come out. I'm pretty up to date with all the Final Faction stuff currently. But I'm really liking Final Faction. I'll probably still keep going for it. Do I need to? No, but sure. And I need to check out Five Below more, because I was very surprised to find them super cheap. Alrighty, guys, there we go. Again, thank you so much for watching. Special shout out to the patrons at Patreon. Thank you all so much for your continued support. Alrighty, guys, have a good one. I've got a bit of a mess to clean.